The Epistle to the Hebrews, Part 31, The Greatness of Melchizedek. Introduction. 1. Thus far in our study, we have seen the writer mention Melchizedek. A. That Jesus is a priest after the order of Melchizedek, Hebrews 5, 9 through 10, and 6:20. B. It has only been a brief mention, for the dullness of the readers required a necessary digression, Hebrews 5, 11 through 6:20. B. Now the writer returns to his theme concerning Melchizedek, in which he A. establishes the greatness of Melchizedek, Hebrews 7, 1 through 10. B. shows the significance of Melchizedek's priesthood, Hebrews 7, 11 through 19, and C. thereby illustrating the greatness of Christ's priesthood, Hebrews 7, 20 through 28. 3. Since this subject is meat compared to the milk of the word, Hebrews 5, 10 through 12, A. we want to approach it slowly and carefully. B. allowing ourselves to slowly digest what is said in the 7th chapter of Hebrews. For this reason, this lesson will limit itself to the first 10 verses, in which we read of the greatness of Melchizedek. 1. The history of Melchizedek. A. The historical record as found in Genesis 14. 1. We first read of the Battle of the Kings, Genesis 14, 1 through 11. 2. In which Lot is captured and then rescued by Abram or Abraham, Genesis 14, 12 through 17. 3. Upon his return, Abram is met by Melchizedek, Genesis 14, 18. A. Who is king of Salem, thought to be later known as Jerusalem. B. Who is also the priest of God Most High. 4. In this meeting, two things happen. A. Melchizedek blesses Abram or Abraham, Genesis 14:19. B. Abram pays tithes to Melchizedek, Genesis 14:20b. B. In referring to Melchizedek, the author of Hebrews 1 summarizes the events in Hebrews 7, 1 and 2. A. How Melchizedek met Abraham and blessed him. B. How Abraham gave a 10th part of all tithes to Melchizedek. 2. Explains the meaning of his name and title, Hebrews 7:2. A. The name Melchizedek means King of Righteousness. B. The title King of Salem means King of Peace. 3. Makes some intriguing statements about Melchizedek. A. Without father, without mother, without genealogy. B. Having neither beginning of days nor end of life. C. Made like the Son of God. D. Remains a priest continually. C. Who is this Melchizedek? 1. Some have suggested that he was A. An angel. B. Enoch. C. Shem. 2. Others have taken the statement in verse 3 to suggest that Melchizedek was a theophany, a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ, for the following reasons. A. The name Melchizedek meaning King of Righteousness, verse 2. B. The designation King of Peace, verse 2. C. The possibility that the lack of recorded genealogy mentioned in verse 3 is due to actual lack of ancestors rather than the mere absence of historical record. D. He is said to remain a priest continually, verse 3c. E. He is contrasted with mortal men, verse 8a. F. Of him it is witnessed that he lives, verse 8b. 3. Most take that he was simply a man, note verse 4, but because he appears suddenly in Scripture as a priest, A. With no mention of parentage or genealogy, B. With no mention of his birth or death, C. With only a mention of him as a priest of God Most High, that he is a type of Christ and what his priesthood would be like. While the true identity of Melchizedek may remain a mystery because of the brevity of scriptural information, his importance as it relates to the superiority of Christ's priesthood becomes very clear as we consider 2. The significance of Melchizedek. A. Melchizedek received tithes from Abraham. 1. Abraham paid a tenth to Melchizedek. 2. Just as the nation of Israel would later pay a tenth to the sons of Levi. Thus Abraham, great as he was, showed his difference to Melchizedek. B. Melchizedek blessed Abraham. 1. Melchizedek blessed him who had the promises, Abraham. B. There is no dispute that the lesser is blessed by the better. Thus Melchizedek is clearly better than Abraham. C. Melchizedek's service was not affected by death. 1. In the priesthood under the Jewish system, the Levitical and Aaronic priesthood, tithes were received by mortal men whose service ended at death. 2. But it has been witnessed that Melchizedek lives, remains a priest continually. Hebrews 7:3. 3. How he lives and remains a priest continually, the Bible does not say. D. Even Levi paid tithes to Melchizedek. 1. Levi was in the loins of his father, Abraham, when Melchizedek met him. 2. Thus Levi, who receives tithes, paid tithes through Abraham, so to speak. Again illustrating the greatness of Melchizedek as one greater than Levi. Conclusion. 1. There is a lot more I wish I knew about Melchizedek. A. Was he a theophany, a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ? B. Was he an angel, Enoch or Shem? C. Was he simply a man? 1. One whose biblical record is such that he serves as a type of Christ. 2. If so, I would love to know where he came from and how he came to be a priest of God Most High. D. How does he remain a priest continually? 2. But what I do know is this. A. Jesus is a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek, as God swore he would be in Psalms 110:4. B. And that Melchizedek is clearly presented to be greater than Abraham and Levi. Understanding the greatness of Melchizedek helps prepare us to appreciate the superiority of Christ's priesthood over the Levitical, Aaronic priesthood. Here ends part 31, the Epistle to the Hebrews, the greatness of Melchizedek.